Hi there. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're coming from. Say hi if you appear. I can hopefully see you coming up on the screen here. It would be nice to know who's there. Nobody at the moment, by the look of it. So I will just quickly go through what we're going to be doing. Yes, great. Hi, I can see Linda and Helen. Hi Helen. And somebody else, I can't see who that is. Do say hello as you arrive. So welcome. If you have joined me before, welcome back. And if it's your first time, then welcome for the first time. So those of you who have been to my sessions before know that sometimes I will bring in some ideas from traditional Chinese. Hi, Bernice. Hi. Hi, Constancia. I hope that I'm pronouncing that right. Constancia, I hope. We'll know that sometimes I bring in some elements of thinking from traditional Chinese medicine, and that's something that we're going to be doing today. We're going to be working today on the qi, or you could also call it the energy or the life force within ourselves that is related to winter. So in a nutshell, the main idea being to stimulate this within ourselves to try and help to be healthy both in body and in mind. Good, I'm glad you're happy about that, Constancia. To help you remain, hi Linda, healthy in body and in mind during this cold season. Hi Olivia from Swansea, great, hi, welcome. So let's begin. We've just got 30 minutes, so let's begin. So we're going to start with caterpillar. So if you just want to make your way down onto your mat, legs out straight in front of you, and we're going to start by having a straight back, and then we're going to fold forward and round the spine. So we're looking for a stretch on the backs of the legs. This is our target area today for this pose. So if you find that you're not really getting too much of a stretch, you might want to try sitting up on something. You can try that. That might work for you. Or you might perhaps just a little active, a little bit yang. You might just want to take hold of something, your ankles, your feet, just something that just gives you a little bit of more stretch in the backs of the legs. If it's too much, you do the opposite, you come up. Don't worry too much at the back at the moment. We want the backs of the legs. So hopefully you've all got some kind of a stretch there. If so, then please remain still. Hi, Andrea. And we'll stay here for around 3 minutes. I'll just start the timer. For anybody who's not really feeling it, the alternative I'm going to give you today, which may help, it may work, it may not, it depends on your body, is to bend the knees, cross the arms over, take hold of the feet, and then push the legs away. You can have the feet together, or you can have them separate, and you may very well feel a stretch in the back here as well. You can hold on to the sides of the feet or the tops of the feet. You choose, and if that gives you more stretch in the hamstrings and the backs of the legs, then stay there. So we'll be here actually now for around 3 minutes. Allow yourself to relax into the pose. And although we went in with a straight back for caterpillar, do allow it to round once you're in the pose. The reason I went in with a straight back, as you would in a forward fold in Yang Yoga, is actually because by doing that, you're bringing the stretch more to the legs, which is what we're trying to do today. So just allow yourself to relax. Bring your attention to the backs of the legs. Noticing the stretch. Noticing if it's just the top part of the legs, or maybe it also goes into the calves. How's it feeling in the backs of the knees? A stretch is fine in the backs of the knees as long as it's not too much. Everything is fine as long as it's not too much and you're not pushing. Close your eyes if that's comfortable, and resolve to stay still for the next minute or so. If you want to move a little bit deeper for the last 15 seconds or so, then just small movement, just move forward a little bit more if you wanted to. Relax again. No pushing, just a little bit of yang within the yin. And then on the next out breath, we're going to come up to center. And then you can just put your hands on the floor behind you for the rebound. Close your eyes again. Don't move yet. Just see how you feel, how the backs of the legs feel after that stretch. Okay, so what we're going to move on to next is a twisted deer. So what we're going to do is bring the right leg to the side of the right, I'll show you this way, outside of the right hip. Play with the position of that knee so that it's comfortable. And then you're also going to bend the left foot so that the knee is also bent here in front of you, so you can see it's this kind of shape approximately, but adjust it to suit you, particularly if you're feeling anything in the knees. And then what we're going to do is we are going to turn to the left and we're going to fold forward. What we're aiming for here is the back, but we're aiming for more on the side of the spine. So play with the position of the body, play with the position of the arms, and see if you can get some stimulation in one side of the back. Now usually I'd say we're looking for stretch, but what I found when I was practicing this is that actually for me, I felt that I was getting more stimulation in the side of the back when I moved further over to the left here. I was getting more stimulation in the left side through the twist that I could feel there. Not the stretch on the right side so much, but the twist on the left side. But it's going to be different for different people. So I want you just to move the body until you're feeling one side, or even both sides, of the spine being stimulated, and then relax into the pose. And once more we stay for 3 minutes. resolving to stay still. Using something to prop up on if you wanted to. Blocks, cushions. Use me as a general guide, but adjust so that you feel it. And what we're doing today, as I mentioned at the start, we're stimulating particular parts of the body, particular lines of energy, qi, as they call it in China. So in traditional Chinese medicine, a lot in a very simplistic term, a simplistic way of explaining it, is that it's broken down into 5 different elements: water, wood, earth, fire, and metal. And those elements are related to these lines of energy that I was talking about, but also related to other characteristics. And one of those characteristics is the season. So the areas that we're stimulating today are related to winter. And the idea is to try and encourage our bodies to be in good health, our bodies and our minds as well, through stimulation of this energy. Take what I say with a pinch of salt if it's not your thing. That's completely up to you. But I will be talking about it a bit today. Tune me out if you're not interested. But I hope that you are. And again, the last 20 seconds or so, if you feel like you want to adjust slightly, maybe you've lost that stimulation, then please do. Relax again. And then come back up to the center. And just move the legs just into a neutral position, maybe crossing the legs. We're not going to stay here for long. We're going to move to the other side. In fact, we're going to move into butterfly. So again, you might find that you want to sit up on something here. Bring the soles of the feet together, knees bent. What we're looking for, our target area, is the inside thighs. So play with the position of the legs. Maybe you might want to bring them closer. Maybe you might want to take them further away. Maybe you might want to separate them. That's another option. Or, as I said, perhaps you feel that you would like to sit up on something. So stimulating the inside thighs. And then fold forward. Don't fall off the block like I am. Bring your attention to where you can feel the stretch. And if this isn't working for your knees, then you can put something, blocks, books, cushions, underneath the knees, or maybe underneath another part of the leg to support it. And then allow yourself to relax into it. And don't worry too much, don't worry at all actually if you're not folding that far forward. one, that doesn't matter, and two, our target area is not so much the back here. That's an added bonus, but it's the inside thighs. And these areas that I'm talking about, these meridians, these channels that the chi flows through, are in the backs of the legs, which is where we were targeting in our first pose. The sides of the spine, the back, the sides of the spine, which is what we were doing in the twisted deer. The inside thighs, which is what we're doing now. And then the other area that we want to focus on, which we'll do in the last pose, is the front of the torso, the chest, for example, opening up the chest. So these are all the areas that I want you to focus on today, your target areas. Notice if you've automatically started clenching or tightening any of the muscles without meaning to. And if you have, just see if you can relax them. Just allowing gravity to bring you deeper into the pose without pushing. In a yin way, at this yin time of year, winter, which is the most yin of all times of the year. A time where many animals hibernate, conserving their energy for the spring, going inside. It's a time for reflection and introspection. Okay, so let's come up. Bring the knees in, gently, feet on the floor, and then close your eyes, and we're going to have another rebound here. So notice the area that you just stimulated, the inside thighs, and maybe the back. See if you can feel anything there. See if you can notice anything physical happening there. But also, if you're open to it, perhaps you might be able to feel the movement of chi. How does that feel to you? And then just before we go to the other side, let's just bring a bit of yang activity, a bit of movement in. So you can just bring the right leg up, and I just want you to kind of imagine that you're stirring this as you do. Massive pot with your foot. You can put your hand on the floor, doesn't matter where you put the hand, and then just stir the opposite way as well, straightening the leg as well, bending and straightening the leg. Bit of muscle movement, bit of yang, then put the foot on the floor and then do the same with the other one. You can stir with the heel, very hygienic, or you can stir with the toe. It's just that hip movement that we're going for here. Making sure to go both ways. Okay. And then we're going to go to the other side. And I have to remember which side we did it on before. Okay, so before we had the left leg in front. So this time, bend the right knee as if you were going to cross your legs. So the right is in front. Then you're going to bring the left foot on the outside of the left hip. Play with the position of these legs so that you are comfortable. And then we're going to twist to the right this time. And remember, you can use props to help you here to try and get that stimulation, be that stretch, compression, twist, stimulation on the outside of the spine, on the left or the right. And something you could try that I didn't say last time is you could also try stretching your arm out this time. Perhaps that might help you get that stimulation. I'll just give you a few moments to find this. You can be up on the elbows, or you can fold down, or you can prop up on something. And then allow yourself to relax into it. So we're doing a lot of forward folding here. Again, related to this time of year, introspection, reflection, these are all associated with forward folds. And Yin Yoga, we do have a lot of forward folds actually. So just allow yourself to go into yourself, to be inside yourself as you're inside physically at this time of year, and also with everything that's going on at the moment. But instead of getting angry at that or upset by feeling like you're cooped up, for example, then see if you can just say to yourself that this is the way it is. We need to be inside. So let's accept it and make the most of it. And if you wanted to move again for the last 30 seconds or so, very slightly, maybe moving a little bit more to the side, noticing how that changes the stimulation in the back, adjusting a little bit if you need to, and then just relax again for the last 20 seconds or so. Okay, so then we're going to come up, so gently, gently push yourself up Remember, if you haven't done Yin Yoga before, then it's very common to feel fragile when moving out of a pose, as we're stimulating the connective tissue of the body. And then I want you just to get briefly into a seated position that is neutral for you, that feels comfortable for you. Just closing your eyes for 30 seconds or so, just for a brief rebound. Just noticing how you feel, how the back feels after that. And then we're going to move into the last one. So again, we're going to be stimulating the inside thighs, but we're also going to be opening up the chest. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of options for this. The first one is Dragonfly. So you're separating the legs. As I said, we want to feel it on the inside thighs, but because I want to open the chest, I want you to put your hands on the floor behind and push up. So this is a little bit yang in that you're pushing up, but then I want you to relax into it. Play with the position of the legs. If you've lost the stretch, you might want to allow the feet to fall in or the feet to fall out. See how that feels. And something else that you can also do is you can raise your hands behind you. That may give you a bit more opening and a bit more stretch. So you can put your hands on blocks, books, anything, whatever. Yeah, so we're opening the chest here and we're opening the inside thighs. If this is working for you, then please stay here. Resolve to stay still for the next few minutes. If it isn't, then follow me. We're going to move into a kind of half butterfly frog or tadpole or whatever you want to call it. So wide-legged child's pose. Opening the legs, so we're starting to feel a stretch on the inside thighs, and then walking forwards. Adjust the knees so that you feel a stretch that's not too much or too little, and then you're okay to stay in that for a few minutes. And then I would like you to put your chin in your hands. So what we're doing here, you can move the elbows a bit further forward if you want a bit more of a back bend. So we've got this back bend going on here, so then of course we're opening up the front and we're stimulating the meridian that is here, one of those two meridians that is related to winter. And if you want to adjust the pose for the last minute or so, if you're in frog, then perhaps you might want to separate the legs, or Dragonfly, separate the legs a little bit more for a little bit more stretch. Or if you're in Dragonfly, you could rotate the feet, just small movements, and then resolve to stay still. And if you wanted a bit more of a back bend, as I said, you can move the elbows forward. Now if you fold forward a lot in Dragonfly, usually, then another option for you if you wanted to move into this for the last part is actually, instead of going backwards, you could fold forwards and do the same as we're doing here, which is to put your chin in your hands. Okay. So on the next out breath, just come back up to the center, wherever you are. And then we're going to move directly into Shavasana. So whatever that is for you, a neutral position, lying on your back, or your front, or your side, or maybe sitting for the last few minutes in whatever position is comfortable for you. So you choose what suits you best. Adjust your body so that you are comfortable, and please don't run off yet. Just give these last few minutes. I hope you have time. I know I'm a little bit over. A little bit. Adjust your body so you're comfortable. Close your eyes. And allow yourself just to relax into the mat. Noticing the connection of your body with the floor. And just allow yourself to really let go of everything. And just to finish, I'd just like to read you something from one of the key texts from China related to Chinese medicine, the inner classic of the Yellow Emperor. And I just want to read you this so it's something that you can think of when we finish today, about winter and about watching the changes and the cycles and what happens in winter, and us doing the same thing. I'll read it to you instead of trying to explain. During the winter months, all things in nature wither, hide, return home, and enter a resting period, just as lakes and rivers freeze and snow falls. This is a time when yin dominates yang. Therefore, one should refrain from overusing the yang energy. Retire early and get up with the sunrise, which is later in winter. Desires and mental activities should be kept quiet and subdued, as if keeping a happy secret. Stay warm, avoid the cold, and keep the skin covered. Avoid sweating. The theory of the winter season is one of conservation and storage. Without such practice, the result will be injury to the kidney energy. This will cause weakness, shrinking of muscles, and coldness. Then the body loses its ability to open and move about in the spring. So just a few things to consider. In a few moments, you're going to hear a bell. And when you hear that bell, wait until it finishes. And then take your time, if you're not already sitting, to come to a seated position. But don't rush. Do take your time. And when you're back to the center, just bring the hands, palms together in front of the heart. Breathe in through the nose, big breath. Out through the mouth. One more time, in through the nose. Out through the mouth. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste. If you enjoyed that and would like to do a longer session where I'll explain a bit more what I was talking about today in relation to winter and what we are stimulating in the body regarding Qi, and then I'm going to be doing a longer session tomorrow night. You can find that on the events section of my page. So please do join me if you're interested in that. It's on Zoom, it's £6. Otherwise, I will be back next week. Yin Yang Yoga on Monday and Yin Yoga on Wednesday. You are welcome. And Olivia and Andrea, thanks so much for coming, and I hope to see you next time. No problem, Carol. I'm going to stay because I'm getting messages. You're welcome. Benny, so glad you enjoyed it, and Constantia, great, I'm really glad you enjoyed it. Really nice to see some new names and new faces here. Wonderful. I'll stay just a little bit longer in case anybody else wants to say anything. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks again for coming.